And joining us live is Timothy Goh, who is in London right now. Tim, what's the latest you're hearing on this scandal?
Well, Glenda, the London Organizing Committee Chief Sebastian Coe said this is depressing and unacceptable. And Chinese state media also denouncing the four women's badminton pairs. Among them, of course, is a star Chinese duo who lost to an unseeded South Korean team. It is, Glenda, a case of losers stand to benefit. Actions seem to be an attempt to manipulate the final standings in the group stage of the competition, because coming second would have meant avoiding compatriots and second seeds at least until the final. So all four pairs would face charges of, let me quote this, not using one's best effort to win a match and conducting oneself in a manner that is clearly abusive or detrimental to the sport. A disciplinary hearing will be held with a decision announced later, Glenda. But at this point, we also understand that all of them will still be in the quarterfinals scheduled to take place tonight. Glenda? So
what's the reaction been then?
Well, fans are the ones who end up losing big in a situation like this, because you come to a match to see athletes try their best to win. Instead, last night, they were trying to lose. So those who were here watching in the arena, which is just really opposite our live spot from here, we're all asking for these teams to be disqualified. Some even saying that if they want to lose badly, then just give them what they want. In China, though, Xinhua News wrote a harsh commentary. It says here, on the court, these four teams lacked a fighting spirit and desire for victory. On China's version of Twitter, Sina Weibo, more than 1.5 million postings were logged, and many fans also called it a humiliation for the national team. Glenda?
Right, well, I also posed this to our Facebook friends, and this is what, they had to say. Bak Kiap said it's a sad case, and if you realize most of the controversial issues are with the Asian athletes, he's wondering if there's any coincidence. Winston Lam say, guess playing smart may not work when opponents are still playing fair. Now, it's in the culture. Guess the time for each to realize could only be proven in time. And, we have one here. Robert says, I believe it exists in all sports where teams try to avoid meeting the stronger opponent, but it should not be so blatant. Michael says, it's gold or go. So it's all up to you on how you want to play this game. Roland says, that's why maybe the rules should change such that each country could only send one representative rather than multiple representatives. So that way, there is a lesser opportunity for such shenanigans, as he says. Well, Tim, you know what? Also creating a buzz, but more positive this time, is American swimmer Michael Phelps. Now, he splashed into the record books as the most decorated Olympian in history. Phelps won a record 19th Olympic medal after claiming gold with the U.S. team in the 4x200 meters freestyle relay. Phelps anchored the team to victory, the Americans winning in 6 minutes, 59.70 seconds. In an earlier race, Phelps touched home just 0.05 seconds behind South African Charles Leclerc to take silver in the 200 meters butterfly.
It's an honor to be living in this lifetime to witness something of this nature. Michael Phelps is an outstanding athlete, and what he has accomplished, I'm sure even to himself, is out of this world. So it's amazing.
I think that's absolutely awesome, and I am very proud of him, and I'm proud to be an American.
Well, they're from America, but what's the reaction from where you are right now?
Well, Glenda, first of all, Michael Phelps says these will be his last Olympic Games. He's been in 3 already, but he did go out with a big bang. It could be even bigger from what he already achieved last night. Let me just go through them. This is a poster coming out of one of the newspapers here in London today, and it says here 15 golds, 2 silvers, 2 bronze, total of 19 medals, the most of any Olympian known to man. And that Phelps says that he has swims race sorry, let me say that again. Races still to swim later on, so this record might even go up to 22 medals at the end of the Olympic Games. He could, of course, only finish, he did finish second on the 200-meter butterfly after leading for much of the race to have the South African swimmer unexpectedly overtake him in the final moments. But with Phelps visibly unhappy about that, he later redeemed himself with the team gold medal in the 2x500 or 2x400 meter freestyle relay. Phelps did say he requested his team to give him a big lead, and he didn't fail to capitalize on that, giving Team USA a big finish, gold medal, making history for himself. However, Sebastian Coe did leave a very controversial, if I should say controversial, remark after this. He was asked about the greatest Olympian, and he said, I quote, "I think you can say it is self-evident that he is the most successful. I am not sure if he is the greatest. It's a good haul, but who is the greatest? In my opinion, he probably is not." Those words from Sebastian Coe. Glenda?
Well, there's also been a positive reaction to Phelps' feat online. Well, why don't we take a look here from our friends. Jimmy here says, "These amazing athletes are just out of this world. I am always inspired by people who make comebacks, and you are right about the A's. So hard to get it consistently. Keep well." And then Jeffrey says, "I salute him." David says, "Awesome." Ben says, "Anyone ever wondered why A is sharp at the top? Because there's only so few, and sometimes only one. Hence the slope is steep." Well, basically what he's trying to say is that it's not easy to get an A, but trying to stay on the top of your game, that can be challenging. Okay, now away from sporting action, organizers need to deal with the challenge of keeping the sale of Olympic merchandise legitimate. So, Tim, we understand that you had a chance to take a look at these souvenirs?
That's right, Glenda. Before we go there, maybe we can give this poster of Phelps to our viewers. Whoever wants it, let us know. Anyway, yeah, as for souvenirs, I've looked at them, I've touched them, pondered if I should buy one, and ended up putting them down because, well, for example, a Team of Great Britain t-shirt can cost up to 50 pounds. It's almost $80 US, and that's just way above my budget.
In this official souvenir store, you get anything Olympics related. Well, most of them anyway. Department store John Lewis is UK's biggest souvenir store, located conveniently right on top of the Olympic Park. And as you can see, 2012 mascots Wenlock and Mandeville sit side by side with Olympic icons from ancient times. There are tens of thousands of products here for every age, from the big spending collector to those who just want a small memento of their time at the Games. So, what are the best sellers so far?
We have 10,000 product lines. It's a huge mix, from a couple of pounds for some wristbands right up to designer Nick Monroe. He's a very iconic British designer. He's designed some solid silver teapots, to our top product in terms of price, which is a solid gold £5 coin, £2,880 if you've got some change in your pocket.
At John Lewis, stock has been carefully calculated not to run out and not to hang around.
We're seeing a really significant growth in our running sales, obviously inspired by the likes of the athletes that are going to be appearing on the track in the next few weeks. We're also seeing a real resurgence in terms of some of those really strong key brands.
Newspapers are criticizing the London Organizing Committee for its strict bans on unlicensed merchandise sold in unofficial shops. Hundreds of so-called brand enforcers patrol the country to make sure only legitimate merchandise are sold. The London Olympic Committee defends it, saying it needs to raise the money to support the billions spent for the Games. Timothy Go, Channel News Asia, at the 2012 London Olympic Games.
So, Glenda, legitimate merchandise only, which means they cost a little bit more than if you can buy unlegitimate ones. And to add to that, there's a report out today suggesting that despite these Olympic Games, tourism and retail is actually losing out disastrously because Londoners and even tourists are staying away from downtown London's shopping areas. That's all for me, Glenda.
Oh dear. Okay, well, if you have any pocket change, I wouldn't mind a souvenir or two. Thank you very much there, Timothy Go.
All right, we'll find something for you.
Live at the Olympics in London.